Um, 2016 as my journey started in 2016. I was basically what happened is I started studying part time 2016, but what I didn't know that there is certain challenges to it. My process started was born out of a restructure. My company retrenched, and what I found was that um, I was at a certain level within my organization. And immediately, what I found with in 2016 is that now, all of a sudden, I was built up to be this certain person. But as I went on with regards to the studying journey, I then I found out no, man, putting my CV out there, no one's doing any kickbacks, or no one is like saying coming for. I had one interview, and then I looked at my CV compared to did a shuffle the TV, and compared to what I realized is that at the same time that my process started within my organization, there was another process that started um, with there's another company. I think it was Telcom at the time. They were busy doing a retrenchment. And what it basically meant in 2015 is now the market is flooded. So now I'm studying part time. I'm thinking, oh, I feel that I built myself a certain way in my organization because I classify myself as a hard worker. And I'm finding now, oh no, you're not actually that brilliant as you thought you were. So now, what am I left with? Then I looked at my CV and I thought to myself, okay, what is the difference between my CV and why is my, what can I do to better? And then I realized that I think maybe this is the right time in terms of if you do an introspection, you maybe need to go back to school or back to start studying full time, part time. I did my bit of my research. At the time, I had a good friend. She was also going through a similar experience where she was doing a whole transition thing where she was also changing jobs. And what she found is that she said that she was going to also start studying because one of her colleagues was studying at one of our universities within our region. And then I thought, okay, good job, because it was my best friend at the time. And I said, okay, let's do this journey together. And then I immediately did my research. I applied at the university. Unfortunately, she couldn't apply with because she just got a good, big, major role within a good job. Actually, like it was an upgrade, but she also went through a restructure within her organization. So we both were like in this journey together. It was quite scary. So we kind of were each other's support systems, and I applied. I got in, um, and it wasn't exactly the program I asked for. So then the next part of the process is like I got accepted for a program. I immediately told her I was excited. Okay, let me start. So I accepted university. I prepared myself that whole year I'm going to start studying. And it in my mind I was telling myself, look, if you don't do this now, you're not going to do it because you're at the point in your life where if you don't start, if you don't do something, you're not going to. This is not. It's basically now or never. So then I proceeded with my journey. She missed the deadline, and yeah, and then I was in. But then the next part of the process was to get funding at work. And the thing with funding at work is that that is what only things that you don't know when you start studying further is that the funding at work, they it varies according to what the budget's constraints is. So the first year my bursary was approved, I got in. Okay, 2016 I started my journey. Similarly in that journey, um I yeah, like I said, I found gaps in I applied. And I've always wanted to study program, and my dream was to get into management because I felt At that time, I had the enough. I had the skill set. It's just that I needed what was not affording me that opportunity. So then I started studying. All that year didn't come without. So then, when you reach a certain age, what they don't tell you is that you get to this thing called age exemption. So it's measured on the number of years you're out of school and the number of years. So then I'm applying, and then everybody's telling me is blocked. Within 2016, I go to campus registration. Right, got my letter from my company. Let's do this. So yeah, I'm walking from pillar to post. Eventually, someone helps me registration. She says, there's a certain part of a process you need to apply for, which is called age exemption. So then I applied for that. With Had to borrow money, and registration open day. Ever since that, the structure's moved online. I don't think it's a bit smoother now because everything is automated. Dealing with people, and you're walking, you are so tired, you're exhausted, you you feel like you just need to take a break. And with that, I walked, and eventually someone helped me. Applied. I had to come back the next day because I had to go to scratch for my matric certificate. Applied for the matric exemption. Um, Within the first year, it was a bit of a challenge because when you come from working so long within over 10 years, and then all of a sudden deciding you're gonna start studying, it doesn't come without its challenges because now you're exhausted, you're tired, you don't know how you're gonna get through the yeah, you don't know. It's a pay. That first few months was rough because I got into the period where I was exhausted because basically when you work full time and study part time, what they don't tell you is the long hours. That is something you need to come accustomed to. Um, um, and then also long hours. That's which brings into the next thing into play is that traveling late hours. So you, as a lady, I would attend evening classes, which ended up at 8 o'clock, and it was late nights and early morning. So you get home after eight. You get home say by 8:30 to 9. First thing, bath, go sleep. Um, you can do your assignments, but then most of the time you would leave it for weekends. That's for the first year, because first year is the period of adjustment. And what is important is that you need to have a reliable car, because I had a vehicle breakdown in that first year. Oh, we and I would do a story about that. It was the most scariest part time experience that I've gone through. Breakdown on, I think it was the R300 near to Stellenbosch Ontario. At the time, I didn't know I was pregnant also. So yeah. Um, Challenge three is that with regards the difference between varsity and school is that your teacher will hold your hand, but your lecturer won't. Your lecturer, it's a big lecture hall where you expected to, like, you must now know what the responsibility falls on you to know everything. And that was a hard knock for me because at school your teacher would help you all the way, but now you're in varsity and everybody's like telling you no, you pushing you and forcing you. um, no one is holding your hand, so you have to be your own motivator. You have to lean a lot on your peers. um, what I'm trying to say is varsity, you're basically on your own. Challenge for this, you take a good, when your first year induction process is the worst. If that doesn't put anyone off, within your first year is that you must take a good look around at your lecture room. That same people that you would have started with is not going to be the same people that you're going to finish with, because people everybody has that ambition and the dream to study part-time, but you need resilience, and you need to know that you want to finish this, and that it's a period of self motivation. There's a lot of people that had good careers and stuff, and when they saw how rough the first year was, because remember, studying part-time, it affects everything. It affects your work life, it affects your family life, it affects your social circle. It's a major, major adjustment. And that what brings me is that you need to the importance of scheduling your voice is scheduling is very important. um s- that's where you need you need to work out a schedule for yourself. That is a challenge number 5. um how are you going to how are you like going to some people prefer leaving all the varsity work for weekends, and some people prefer no leaving it for in the evenings. I was again a person where I would come from varsity because I was already in the groove. I would immediately just take an hour break, eat, and then my child will be sleeping. That time, no, that's 2017. He was be sleeping because I gave birth the following year. Um, Fees must fall did me a a the fees month because of the protesting with fees month 4. I was at advantage because I could have like write the following year. um so yeah, and remember, and the parenting is also difficult because when you're a mom you still have to attend to your kids, whereas if you're a guy, depending on the family dynamics, you it's more easy on men. And unfortunately that's just one of those things. You still have to adjust it because you still need to attend to your kids, you still have to bath them. It depends on the support systems you have in place. And then it's very important, be kind to yourself. And that's where you also, when I say be kind to yourself, challenge number 6, you need to ensure that you know that rest periods are important. That although you're studying, you're embarking on this journey, you need to make time for your family. You need to make time for everything. If you don't do this, you are going to you if you don't do this, you are going to burn out. Varsity is very fast paced, so in order to catch up you need to, according to as per your schedule. So for example, if you submit an assignment today, you would obviously have a diary. Like some people prefer to have a diary where they write everything down. Um, and then they would they think, like for example, um family time is important. But remember that you're not alone on this journey as a studying part-time. You need to also make time for your family. Yes, you have your deadlines and stuff, so you need to ensure that you have that um home work and home life as well as varsity life balance. um and you need to that's where you need to balance that interpersonal relationship to ensure that you're okay. Then we move on to now the interpersonal relationship is challenge number 7. This is the challenge I battle with the most, is that group work. The thing at varsity, you're going to do a lot of group work. So it's very important that you align yourself with people with the same work ethic as yourself. I know I had experiences where if everybody doesn't pull their weight within a group structure, it falls on the rest of the group members. Fortunately, an undergrad, you can always carry in your peers, and there is people that tend to take advantage of that. That is why important to align you. So you must know, take note of everybody's strengths and weaknesses. Um, in terms of group work, you learn a lot about yourself because I had situations where I was shouted at and held at because there was certain people in my group dynamic that wasn't pulling their weights. I had friendships that I started with that I didn't end up with because of the complexity or the level of personal, how can I say, the level of personal attacks, because people, it's human nature to take things personal. And I'm the sweetest person it is. It's just that I don't know if I have control issues or what, but it's that's where you learn a lot of yourself. I had a best friend. I started with her. Somewhere down the line, it just fell apart, and I still don't know up to date the reason why. It's because I think she attended to align yourself with a certain people, and you find your own people who you click, who you basically you click. And I think that's what happened. You need to find people that will fill in your blind spots, because um there is lots of times where you will lack in a certain area and that person will be strong in terms of maybe editing word document or doing PowerPoint presentation, where you'll do better at research. So remember, you're working as a team, and so it's not a me thing. The minute it becomes a you thing and where you're doing all the group work, that's when you're going to start to feel the pressure, and that's where you're going to start to just have a complete meltdown. And that is where I say I've been in groups where it's worked well, and I've been in groups where it's just fell apart. And it's important, that's why I'm saying it's important to align yourself with people that will see your blind spots and will cover it, and work as a team. Um, it's a very difficult, but you will find that the right mix. And also at varsity, what you need to realize is that varsity is in a period where you are there to build networking and connections, and you need to be always consistent in trying to build a relationship. Although you don't, that's a mistake I made. I could, because I'm an empath, I get too involved in people's emotional problems. So that's where you take on people's stresses. And remember, we're all in the same place, so you need to put yourself always first. So you need to know you're here for you. Yes, you would like to make long term connections, but you're also there to build a better life for your family and build a better life for yourself. Um, and then also, challenge number nine is that was challenge number eight. Challenge number nine is you need to research your industry. Say, for example, after second year, you choose a major. So if your major is not, if you don't know your industry properly, what can happen is that you might study this industry, and then after varsity you find it harder to get into the industry because you'll find that the industry is segmented in that it is through connections, and it's not like about applying. So you need to consistently know that, and you need to be sure this is the direction you're going the and that's basically a major challenge for me, that although I've done my degree and my postgrad, I'm unable to get into my industry because with my industry, which is industrial psychology, I'm required to go on to masters. And because of personal reasons, I feel that I need to take a break and focus on my family dynamic. Because remember, studies is always going to be there, but you need to always know that you have kids growing up. You need to be there for your family, you need to be for kids. You can't live, this reminds me of that clickbait movie where he was just press the remote, where he fast forward over the unimportant parts of his life, and he fast forward to the important, and he stopped. And if you remember clickbait with Adam Sandler, that is similarly what I'm talking about. That you need to know your industry, and it's harder because you need to be there also for your family, and that is the reason I'm taking a break. Clickbait, we fast forward, and at the end of that period, he found that he missed out a lot on his family, and his wife ended up remarrying someone else, and so. And I think it was just back like a kind of future. It's a very good movie. You should take a watch, let it watch. Um, and then what challenge number 10 is, you need to find your tribe, and then always maintain good relationships with your lecturers and your peers. It's difficult when it's time for deadlines and assignments and tests and quizzes and things. That is very difficult, but you need to realize your lecturers are human also, and you need to try to build a good understanding with them. It helps a lot if your lecturers know who you are, so by the time they when they mark your paper, they know, okay, this is maybe Theron's, or this is I know her and I know she's a good speaker and stuff like that. It helps a lot in terms of ensuring the relationship. Um, challenge number 11 is what I touched on already. Try not to take on other people's stresses. That is a mistake I made as an empath, because we're all in the same boat. We need to manage that. And just a bit of story, when that is what I had one of our mini breakdowns is where because I'm an empath, I'm a nice person. So I was consistently taking on people's stresses. I was taking on my friend. He was going through a rough period. I took on his thing. And then my other friend also at varsity. We're still friends today. I took on her stresses. Then the one friend just met. I thought we had a good connection, and for some reason, I took on her stresses, and as a result, that relationship didn't make it. But yeah, it was just a bit rough. That was one of the fights in terms of group work. There's a lot of things. These because everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's stressed. Everybody wants to meet the deadlines, and unfortunately, um, sometimes these casualties along the way. Let's put it that way. Challenge number 12 is you are going to your social circle. Unfortunately, your social circle is going to be impacted. It's only until then you need to reprioritize. You need to not do the recall of. Shortly you'll see who your real friends are and who is not your real friends. So you do a recall of that, and you will at the end of the day you are going to constantly need to um like some people say there's a rating system, like who's more important, and make time for those that have a good impact on you. um because you're only gonna and you need to try to find who is your immediate circle, social circle, and stick to that. Because and you need to find friends that who are going to understand. Not everybody's going to understand this journey. There's people you will lose friends along the way, and there's people that's going to remain. There's friends that will be willing to, as we get older, yes, in our 20s we want to be with our friends, and 30s even we want to be with people. But as you get older you realize your family is the most important part, and then friends come second. And there's going to be times where you can't spend time with friends, and that's where varsity also puts it into perspective, that who is your immediate social circle. You are going to take a break. I had a friend that um he he continued on to honors, but I don't know what exactly happened. But because he got back into partially back into because it took him many break, he took back he went back into his social circle, and as a result, he hasn't continued. But the honors journey in itself, the postgrad journey, is a different journey. That's where you only have time for your immediate circle. Even with undergrad, you start to realize your priorities. But remember, you're always gonna have like semester breaks where you can spend time with it, but that's where a change in postgrad where you are going to use your holidays as catching up with schoolwork. Um, and yeah, and I had a friend also who started. I knew a not fellow student. He started up in I can't remember his name. He started I think ULC. Or people that watch this will know who I'm talking about. That studied with me. But then he dropped out along the way because of the pressure from his peer circle. Because at that time in 2016, I think there was a concert with Mariah Carey, and I think because his social circle was so strong, he kind of gave in, and as a result, he dropped. He wasn't one of the most cleverest, most intelligent people that I know. That because it was a maths class, maths lit, and if he had to stay, he could have applied himself, and he probably would have been far. I'm not sure if he even went back because then someone ran into him at a concert or at the festival, and he said the reason he dropped out is because he couldn't. His friend circle was just becoming too much for him. So that is why I'm saying, in terms of priorities, you will see what is important. Although you're initially going to decide to go into this journey, but then somewhere down the line you're going to see that maybe your friend circle will win and you'll drop out, or maybe you will learn a better way of managing it and you will put everything in boxes. But unfortunately for me personally, varsity allows you have to put everything into boxes. um and also like aligning yourself with a social worker. So that is the end of this video. I will do another one. um, Thank you so much for watching, and I will please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next upload. Bye.